Okay guys, so I got a question here that I'm going to try to answer about a good inexpensive setup for a Hi-Point. Of course, an inexpensive budget gun. You don't want to spend too much money on a setup. Now, before I start this, I want to say thank you to you guys that have been here with this channel for a while and supporting me. If you like these videos, subscribe, like them, share them. If you see a video you think is going to help somebody, share it with them, man. I've been doing this for a while. If you remember, I started out with just a really crap cell phone camera, and it looked like somebody was drunk watching it. But over time, I've been able to buy like this camera, the tripod, this gun. Actually, I got as well with just money from YouTube, right? The ad revenue, it's not much. I'll be honest with that. It's I make maybe $100 a month, maybe, and sometimes it doesn't hit that mark, so I gotta wait for the next month. But that's what I do with it. I'll buy ammo, test these things out. I'll buy cameras, buy tripods, buy some of the gear you see, and it's been with AdSense. Also, a little bit of help is when I see something I like I'm gonna do here, I'll leave links in the description bar to stuff on Amazon, right? So if you're gonna get on Amazon, jump on there. I make like $13 a month on there at best, but it adds up. I just leave it in there, and then I'll use it for some ammo or something. But it helps out. I mean, like I said, I've gotten this camera now. This thing is starting to die. I've had it for a while, so I need to replace it soon. So I've also started on Patreon thanks to a sub of mine, mine's recommendation. R. Jenkins, thank you, brother. And if you guys want to join me, you want to follow me, join me on there, man. It's a good alternative to YouTube cutting people if they don't like what truthers and fake news they call it. What's the use in prepping, right? Nothing's ever going to happen. You can rely on the government. That's what you're supposed to hear, right? I don't do that. I think we should be self-sufficient. So thank you guys for your support. Share the videos with somebody you think will help. Like them, and join me on Patreon if you can. Anyway, enough on that. Thank you. But let's go to the question here. It was, I'm looking for a. What do you think is a good option for a Hi-Point? It's not going to break the bank. Something just cheap and simple. And luckily, I had this laying around. My brother used to carry, it was a Beretta 380. And he sold that off a while back. And he had this laying around. He brought it over. I threw it in the washing machine, put it aside. And then, when I got this Hi-Point, I just figured, hey, let me just see if it fits. And lo and behold, it's actually a pretty good fit. Now, this here is open, so if it's going to just sit around, I'd probably just sew this bottom here. You can do it with yourself, a little needle and thread. Nothing's fancy, just opens up the bottom. No big deal. Me, I personally like to seal them just to make sure nothing gets in, gets it all dirty in there. Right, you'll be fine up top. It's no problem. But anyway, what would I recommend? Actually, I've tried this. It works out pretty well. It fits the C9, and I believe the 380. They're the same size, so it'll fit either one of those in here very well. Again, I'll leave a link in the description bar if you like it. Now, what my suggestion would be, and I'm not a pro. I just, I'll carry firearms, handle firearms, and got a bit of common sense. That's pretty much my qualification, right? But from a gun guy and someone actually carrying, I would say I like this setup here, where you've got the there's 8 rounders and 10 rounders. Let's pull this guy out. So it fits in there pretty snug. So we got, I think there's a dummy round in here. I always keep dummy rounds in my guns. So you got the 8 rounder and 2 10 rounders. Now, my suggestion would be to carry the 8 round in the Hi-Point. And yes, you're going to have a little bit less capacity, but remember, if you're carrying this thing concealed, this is going to stick out much less than this, right? It won't stick out that much when you got this on you, on your shoulder. It's okay when you have a jacket or something, but this will protrude, and you know, that's gonna basically leave just a big old bump on your chest. Move it around, it's gonna be obvious you're carrying. So for concealed carry, well, conceal the damn thing and use the smaller mag, right? Now this guy, I said it fits in there pretty darn snug, and this is adjustable too. So, I mean, it'll work for other guns too, but I like it for the Hi-Point. It's the UTG Universal Shoulder Holster, and I'll leave a link in the description bar. But, as you can see, fits in there pretty snug. If you really, really had to get a hold of it, the two buttons unsnap pretty darn easily, and you're good to go. Now, the odds of you being in a shootout are pretty low, man. I'd say you got better odds of winning some coin off a scratch-off than being in a shootout. So, you know, somebody's going to look at this and go, oh, you only have 28 rounds total. Yeah, that's true. However, FBI stats say that shootouts last about 3 rounds, and that's both ways, right? So 3 shots fired, and that's coming from both sides on average. So the odds of you being in a shootout in the first place are pretty damn low. But if it happens, then you've got more than enough rounds on the average. I always say the more the better. But hey, you got 8 in that gun. 9 if you have it cocked and locked. Which in here, I guess I'm not going to recommend you do it. But I don't see this sliding. It looks like it's pretty secure. Let's see that move. No, it didn't move at all. Yeah, so I think that'd be okay, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would say you just have the magazine full. All you have to do is rack that sucker really good, and just to make sure, and then you're good to go. At that point, if you did have to defend yourself, you run out of those 8 rounds, carry 2 of these 10 rounders with you. At this point, if you're defending yourself or your family, it doesn't matter what the hell this damn thing looks like. Let it have that battery pack on there, right? Some people get a better grip. You know, I got smaller hands. It helps my grip a little bit. So that would come in handy. That's what I'd say. You know, once it's already on, man, then at that point, it doesn't matter. Use the battery pack afterwards. But in the meantime, just try to conceal that sucker. 8 rounder to conceal it on you. And then you have 2 10 rounds at the ready. And that's more than enough, you know, for statistically anyway. You know, I don't see you getting caught in some LA bank robbery deal or something like that, right? The odds of that are pretty low. So that's all you'd really need, man. And this setup is very, very inexpensive. Again, I'll leave a link in the description bar. Let's say if you want to keep this in the trunk, that work out fine, man. That's what I would say. You can actually detach this stuff. So like, if you want to keep this, you know, in your car, you can do that. Be just fine. You can reverse it too. But you want to just leave that in the under your seat, in the glove box or something like that, you can do that. Actually, I'll just leave the gun in the glove box, but you can do that. Or you can go ahead and take this whole setup and just throw it in the trunk, man. And then if you really needed it, it's right there. You know, part of a get home bag or something like that. You can have a get home bag next to it or something like that. Or let's say you have this, you know, at home. This is going to be your setup, right? Maybe you can get some some cheap belt to have a little bit of other stuff, or a backpack. And this all just in a go box. Very inexpensive setup. And there you go, right? You don't have to break the bank here, guys. Just do it simple. You know, be wise with your money. That's what this is about. Anyway, hope that helps. Hope that answers the question. That's what I would go with, because it's, you know, it's not the most expensive thing, but it's durable enough to get the job done. That's what I got to say. In my experience, UTG, you know, and I'm not, you know, a spokesman for them or nothing, but, you know, this stuff, airsoft and stuff, it's actually pretty decently made. You know, there's higher end stuff a lot more expensive, but it's not going to be a lot better quality, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I would go with something like this. Cheap, inexpensive, light. You can put it in, you know, in the trunk, keep it in your home somewhere in a gold box or something like that. And there you go. Or everyday carry, man. It worked for that too. And it's pretty adjustable. So there you go. Very easy to go. I just say again, 8 rounds in the gun, an 8 rounder in the gun. And then you got 2 10 rounders, because if you need to pull out those backup magazines, it doesn't matter if this looks kind of funny or not, man. It's, you know, it's your life on the line. So in that case, that. And to keep it concealed, that smaller grip, it doesn't really stick out that much, man. Talking about like a 1/3 of an inch or something like that. And that'll keep it concealed until you need it. You know, under your jacket or something, you're fine. Okay, so anyway, thank you guys. That's it for it. Hope that answers the question, and I am out.